Hi guys, welcome to the shot-for-shot review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah, buddy. We are all very excited about this movie. I mean, we've been anticipating this since Volume 1. After we left the theaters of Volume 1, we have been waiting for Volume 2. So let's get right into it. So guys, how do you feel about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
I think
GOTG V2.
Yeah.
Go, Kurt.
What a great abbreviation.
GOTG
So
V2.
I think the main thing we need to do for the audience's sake is when people see a reviewer, they also need to see what their views are compared to the other reviewers.
Agreed.
So I'm going to ask you guys one thing before we
So what's going to make them go see the movie? You know,
I'm going to
that's
say,
what we want them to
what
do.
is your favorite Marvel movie, and what did you think of the original Guardians of the Galaxy? They could be the same, they could be different. AJ, go.
Okay. I'll go with my favorite Marvel movie. It is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
Volume 1, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then
GOTG V1.
Yeah. What was yours?
Well, if it's not GOTG V1, it would definitely have to be. Okay, so
Just straight
I'm
up.
Spider-Man. I'm a huge Spider-Man guy.
Which one? Which one?
Of course, everyone thinks I was going to say Civil War, but I really love Winter Soldier. I think Winter Soldier is a perfect.
Oh, that's the one you're
Okay.
nailing it down.
I
to?
honestly like if it's not
really
Guardians of
good.
the Galaxy Volume 1, it's Winter Soldier.
It's really good.
And honestly,
Civil War?
like Avengers 1 is
Winter
one of my
Winter Soldier.
Like
Oh.
of course Avengers 1 is the best movie. But like story-wise, like what it makes a good story,
Avengers
of course.
1 was like, of course it was going to be an awesome.
Of course they're all gonna, like, join together.
Not necessarily, of course, but obviously there was a lot had added to it that would obviously going to make it a good movie, regardless of the director or the writer or anything like that.
Okay,
Everyone was together.
Sure.
Cap 2 was probably the best sequel.
Okay.
And Guardians was probably, honestly, it was probably the first movie where it was an origin movie, but it was great. Like, honestly, it's like me and my fiance's. Like it's our movie we watch every Valentine's Day.
Oh my god!
Like no joke.
I have a kind of counterpoint to that, but when I first saw Guardians, Morgan's cat of like 17, 18 years was extremely sick. So just kind of give you now. This is my long drawn out answer to my question I've had for you guys. Okay. But when I saw it, we saw it on the midnight on Thursday.
Yes.
We saw it, I think, relatively early, not too late. Like I think around 11 o'clock. And I think for some reason Morgan didn't come because I think her cat was not feeling too well. But she called me like right when it started. I remember the moment. It was when he was dancing in the beginning, like kicking the little weird creatures in the beginning. I got a call from her. I ignored it a little bit, and then it went. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it went on a little more. And then she called me again. I'm like, well, she doesn't really call me twice.
Oh,
Such
man.
What is going on?
Such a happy moment.
We
which is,
leave.
like, such a sad memory.
And it's funny because I'm trying to get my input on Guardians of the Galaxy, but this is always the thing I always tell people about Guardians of the Galaxy when I talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
There's a payoff.
It does apply. It does have a payoff. Yes. It also also gives my opinion about the second movie as well.
Okay, for sure.
There's a thesis to this.
Cool.
As well.
I'm excited.
I'm
in.
buckled in.
So yeah,
strapped in.
I get her
We're
call, ignore it. Unfortunately, like a bad boyfriend
What a
I can
dick.
be sometimes.
What a
She
dick.
called me again. When someone calls you again,
You know.
that doesn't really call you ever, you know it's kind of bad. I call her, I walk out of the theater, she's like, Jasmine doesn't feel good. That's her cat of like 18 years at the time.
I've seen
Love the
portrait
cat,
of her.
cat loves me. I adore the cat. And I'm like,
We're
okay,
the only few
I'm
humans
going to
that
leave
actually
this.
did love.
I'm going to leave the movie. Well, if she calls me, I go back in the movie. Just let me know. Let me know if you want me to come home. Watch the movie like maybe a minute more, 2 minutes more. She calls me again. I leave before the guy can go like, my name's Star-Lord, and the guy goes, who? And I leave before that time.
Seal?
I
Like
go
the
home. I go
the
home.
First
and
time or the second time?
the first time. When he's like, my
Wow.
name's Star-Lord. And he's like, who?
It's funny. You say this. I was definitely there when this happened, but I
That's
really
how good it is.
Okay, so let's focus. Let's wrap this story up really quick, okay? So her unfortunate cat was like very, very sick,
Yes.
and I get home. Obviously, unfortunately, I am pretty drunk because it was a movie preview of a Marvel movie. I gotta have some fun.
Why would you not?
Gotta enjoy myself.
Gotta, you know.
And the cat, it is the most awful night of my life, hands down. It's awful.
Oh,
Cat-
man.
I didn't see
The
it.
cat, Jasmine, dies
Let's
in my hand.
let's-
I'm sorry.
let's-
I'm gonna bring it
let's-
back up.
No.
Okay, hold on. I left the movie. Well, I'm gonna bring it around town. I'm gonna bring it around town. Okay, so Sabrina, so yeah, it's really sad.
Like,
it brings
Wow.
it solidifies my opinion about the Guardians.
I really hope it does. Where's Groot?
It's
Where's
coming.
Groot?
It's coming. It's coming. Okay.
We're
So
dead.
that night, I come home. The cat's very sick. It dies in my hands at night. It takes its last breath in my arms.
Oh my!
I love this cat. Morgan had this cat for 17 years.
Yeah.
When I started dating Morgan, it took a very keen liking to me and loved me.
It was really fat too.
The next day she dies. We take her to the vet and like we try and get our minds off it. Like, hey, let's just go see Guardians again. Let's get our minds off of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The end of Guardians, when Peter finally reads the note from his mother, we read it like Jasmine
Wrote it.
was reading it to us.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm in a better place now.
God,
I know I was
so happy
feeling
this
pain in my
came
life,
around. Oh
but
my
I'm
God,
in a better
audience.
spot in my life right now, and I'm bawling. I'm crying kind of right now, and I look over at Morgan.
Okay.
and she's like,
I'm like,
okay, yeah,
stop it.
Jasmine's reading this to us right now.
What is a perfect?
Okay,
It was-
time out.
it
Enough
was
of your
beautiful.
dead cat review of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That's not what they're here for.
My favorite Marvel
They're here for
movie is Guardians, and
Okay.
I would give it a 9, just like AJ. So we're going from there.
So let's get into Guardians of the
God
Galaxy
damn it.
2, because that's what they're here for. All right.
Sorry, Morgan. Oh God.
He did it.
Sorry,
So
I
okay,
get through it.
so from Avengers 1,
Yes.
when as soon as we heard Avengers 2 was coming, I was on pins and needles. I was so excited. Honestly, like from the stories how I was excited for Avengers 1, I was very excited.
Yeah.
Now, Avengers 2 did not give me what I wanted. So I was ready for Guardians 2. I was like, because Cap 2 definitely gave me what I wanted. Cap 3 gave me what I wanted. I was ready for a team sequel
Can
to
I say
give me
something
what I
about Cap
wanted.
2 really quick? Cap 1 was awful. Cap 2,
It's probably one of the worst.
you were like writing off Cap 2 right off the
Viewers-wise.
bat because the awfulness of Captain America.
No,
I think that
I
makes
love
Cap
it.
2
I love
better.
the Cap movies. I love the Cap movies.
Oh, the Cap movies. How dare you? Go on.
I mean, it's his opinion.
I mean, it's my like the worst one. The first one's the worst one.
So what's
It's so over the
It's
top.
awful. It's worse than Thor. It's worse than
Oh.
Thor. It's worse than Thor 1.
If you can feel it in the marrow.
But that's a good thing for
Anyway.
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was in home fucking
So we're
run
back here, Guardians of the
for Marvel.
Galaxy Volume
That
2.
was
here we go.
that was the original. Like, this is their Marvel movies.
So
now.
okay. So I've been waiting for this movie probably for like since it came out. Like I've been. It's probably been like 3-4 years. I honestly at this point I don't know, but it's been at least a while.
Yeah.
From the moment the movie played, I was blown away. Like
Oh,
it reminding me so much of the first one, but
Yeah.
give me so much more. Like the first one again still has a special place in my heart. It always will. Like I will always watch the first one.
Yeah.
Now, we also got something more with the second one. Like it was about like Peter's father. It was about like his whole thing, and like it was a different thing. Like even with the music, it was like it wasn't like it like progressed the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't like these awesome songs that were like perfect for where they fit into the scenes. They were like Brandy. Like in Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy. Brandy is a song that's played in like the beginning song. It's in the soundtrack. Again, that literally sums up the whole subplot of the movie. It really does. Like with ego and everything. By the way, I love the
Too
movie.
conveniently, though, I'd say.
Well,
But I think that's what we planned.
I'll wait.
Honestly, I think that's what we're playing. But what I'm gonna say is, honestly, I love the adaptation of like from the comics and the movies, because that's what the problem with a lot of people is like, oh, the movies have to reflect the comics. Well, the comics really have to reflect the movies. But you know what? Let's make a happy medium. And Ego was brilliant. I really loved
They did
Ego.
it well. They did it well.
The fact that he had a physical embodiment, but he was also we got to see it like the face of Ego, which was this like planet with a beard, and it's like that's what Ego's been since the 70s.
Okay, so
Or
what
whenever
my
it's
main
true.
concern before I saw the movie is I feel like a lot of sequels, rather than just the Guardians sheer sequel, is that a lot of not only the developers but the producers of the makers of the movie are saying, "Hey, we have to have this in there." They would tell James Gunn, "You got to do this. You got to do that." And that was my main fear of Guardians 2. Hold on, really quick.
Not to cut you off, but actually James Gunn wanted more, but the studio was like, "You can't." Like the Watchers.
Let me explain. Let me explain more. More in the fact of staples of Guardians.
Okay.
If I would say, "Hey, what makes Guardian 1 Guardian 1?" I would say the relationship, the team aspect.
Yes.
The music,
yes,
for fucking sure, and the overarching story where every scene kind of feels different from one another. And I feel like Guardians 2, I as much as I hate sometimes saying that the original is the best one or the other one is better than that, like I think Guardians 2 was a great fucking addition to this one. My main thing is I feel like in Guardians 1, not everyone was extremely well developed. So let's take Drax for example. I think Drax is the most obvious one.
Yeah.
In Guardians 1, he wanted to be great. He wanted to be the most badass, toughest guy ever. Yeah. But you would watch him and you'd be like, no, this guy's there's no ever good moment. There's that moment where in that brain of the god and he like goes to attack like that one like guy and he gets fucked up. And there's a lot of moments where Drax, where he tries to demonstrate his power, and it doesn't come off in Drax's favor. I think in the beginning of this one, it does. His power is demonstrated very well. I also, however, think that his character is also very demonstrated well. I think Drax was one of the best characters in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
However, if someone would say, who stole the show? Yondu stole the show. It was Yondu's movie, hands down.
My quick,
hands down,
2-second comment about that right there. I think a better way to say it is Drax stole the show, but Yondu stole it. And this sounds super cheesy, but just let me. I'm like literally done. Drax stole the show. Yondu stole our hearts. In the sense of like,
yes.
Drax was cool. Yeah, he was like he made the film. It was cool.
Well,
he
Drax made us laugh.
Yeah, he made us laugh. He kept the film going.
Made us go, ooh, ah, happy,
Yondu
sad.
He
elicited every moment. Every
he hit
emotion.
us with a blind side with his whole the reason why
Yondu had one line in the movie that really blindsided everyone. And honestly, no. Okay, time out. That line is probably the funniest line in the movie, but no, it was the line where he was like, you know what? I'm not your father, but I'm your daddy. And honestly, it sounds
how he talks is different. Is what really emphasizes it.
But the way it was like there was the one shot in the movie, spoilers, where Yondu is behind a younger Peter and he's trying to teach him how to shoot. Like it really was like from there we like because we didn't know about in the first Guardians about Yondu like taking all these younger people. We didn't know that all.
Yeah.
But we knew there was something wrong with the original Ravagers, the original Guardians of the Galaxy, which was Starhawk, who was Sylvester Stallone. Okay. But we didn't get that in the first movie. That's what I loved about his character. And we got his, overall, like, we got this great...
Not that it was warranted in the first movie, though.
But we got so many great moments with him in the second one, which was like... Fuck ego.
Awesome.
Fuck ego. And that's what, honestly, everybody's always said in the comics, but Ego's an asshole.
I think that's
what I love.
That is the key for Guardians.
You don't know what your family is.
The common theme is it demonstrated in the fucking trailer, for sure. Guardians is for people that value friends, unfortunately, over family. It's like, hey, you guys fight all the fucking time. It's like, you guys aren't friends. Like, no, I revere my friends as family. And it's like, hey, like, you may have these people that aren't necessarily blood related to you, but they are have more impact in your life than your actual motherfucking blood does. And that is from the trailer. That can be applied towards the movie as well.
Yeah. It's more about loyalty than anything else, and I think the group is a very loyal group. That is known within the Marvel Universe. Yeah. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. It's never been anything.
And they don't have the same relationship as the Avengers.
Yeah, sometimes it's been like Star-Lord on himself with the Nova Corps, but you can agree, most of all, it's been Star-Lord sometimes with the Nova Corps when he got into it and everything like that. But it's never been, we're just going to watch a story about Gamora. We're going to have a whole segment about Bug. We're going to have a whole segment of Mantis. Like, it's never like that. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not like the Avengers where they go do their own thing. It's the whole thing about Guardians is they're a team. And I think that James Gunn, I'll
they're a rat-cat trio. They're like misfits.
I'll give it to James Gunn. He nailed it with the freaking having a teamwork movie that just it personifies what like
next
friendship.
Avengers 1. It's the best team movie. If Guardians 2 is the best team, like even with Mantis thrown in there.
So well done.
Wait. Say it one more time.
Like
what do you say?
They're a bunch of bros hanging out, and they're doing stuff, and it just feels real how they're like bounty hunters.
So let me pause real quick before we say.
So okay, so here's my thing.
Can I just say one thing really quick?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things for people for Marvel movies is not whether it's a good movie.
Yes.
It's really whether it compares to other movies as well. So what were you saying about Avengers, though?
So okay, here's my thing. Guardians 1. Let's say Guardians 1 as a whole. It is adapted from a story from the 2000s. It's not one of the original stories. Star-Lord, Groot, Drax, Gamora, and Rocket were never the original team of the Guardians. And that's why Yondu is such an important part, because he was one of the original 4 Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. Now, let's forget. Like, let's say like Star-Lord and all them were the first. Like when the 5 of them joined, they were the first team.
Yeah.
It's still such a great like origin story. Like, I love the Avengers movie because it's been something that has been growing over
also because it's original.
It's been something that's been growing over like many years.
Yes.
We got Thor in this one. We got Hawkeye in this. We got Iron Man in this. We got Hulk in this. You know what? Let's bring them all together. But Guardians 1 was such a solid origin for all these characters we've never heard about. But it was perfect. And you know what? At the end of it, we wanted more.
Can I say one thing?
We wanted so much more.
So I think your opinion about Winter Soldier and your opinion about the original Guardians also has something to do along the lines of the Avengers. I think the Avengers is going to be awesome. You're going to see all your favorite superheroes fighting alongside each other to defeat this one evil. You see it, you think about it, you expect it, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
However, you see the original Captain America, and you're like, ugh. And you hear about the second one, and you're like, but then you actually see Winter Soldier, and it's
true.
Fucking amazing. And then they're like, hey, Kurt, a Guardians of the Galaxy movie is coming out. And you're like, how the fuck are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they going to do?
Yeah.
But then they actually do the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and they land it so fucking perfectly. It's like, holy shit. This is what every fucking Marvel movie needs to be. It needs to have heart. It needs to have class.
Oh, yeah.
It has fucking everything. Like, I think Winter Soldier and Guardians are the perfect example next to Spider-Man 2.
OG?
A great example of superhero sequels.
What do you think about that?
Well, honestly, here's the thing I love about Guardians. It's like, it's such a vague topic that, like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, when you say the word Guardians, everyone always some Groot and Rocket. It's like, no, that's not really what it was. But it's like, that's what I love about it. It's like, oh, we can create 2 stories that aren't in the normal Marvel mythos, that are vaguely taken from other stories, but still make it its own thing. But to where it's like people are like so involved in the story and want to hear so much more.
Yes.
That's the thing about the first one, where it's like, oh, we really didn't know about Nova and all this, but you know what? We want to see these 5 people work together and stop the bad guys. And the second one, it's the same thing, but there's more to it. It's about family. Like, honestly, like, if I could sum up the second one in one word, family. And
Fast and Furious.
Family.
But I don't want to compare to Fast and Furious, because honestly, it's like, I feel like it wasn't this ham-fisted, like, oh, I need to sacrifice myself.
Well, I feel like it didn't need to be so ham-fisted, the second one.
But it's more of like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm ludicrous, and I need to sacrifice myself so I can get the codes to the sub, so the nuclear sub doesn't launch the missile off.
It meant more to you.
But it was more Yondu.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had to be warranted from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously had
a
story of
Peter
really Quill,
did. Yeah.
But it obviously, the story of Peter Quill needed to progress. And you had to have this story, unfortunately, but you didn't want it to be a very derivative story about Peter Quill.
Because that's the thing about the books. It's like they're like, when it's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's about the team. But like with the movies, yes, it's about the team, but it needs to be about like the individual characters at least. Like at least Star-Lord, who's the main character. It's like, oh, Cap and Iron Man. Like Avengers movie, you need at least to make those two like the predominant, like, you know, progressors of the story to like help move the story, because those are people know. I'm not bashing Rocket, Groot, or Gamora.
No,
Like they are some of the biggest characters like today. Like honestly,
now,
like they put like when Deadpool came out like Deadpool like came to fame like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I know Deadpool's been around for a while, but he literally came to fame 4 years before the movie came out. But once the movie came out, dude, fuck Wolverine. It's Deadpool now.
I believe you.
You know what I mean?
I would believe you.
So I know we've been talking about a lot. Let me just say this one thing really quick. So I know that obviously the relationship from the Guardians is a great draw to the movie.
Yes.
However, you would say another staple of the Guardians movie is obviously the music of the Guardians movie. Okay. So I think a big tell of the popularity, maybe a little bit of the sequel, is would you rather listen to the Guardians 1 soundtrack or would you rather listen to the Guardians 2 soundtrack?
May I say a good input on that? Why I think this is why I love Guardians so much. The beauty of Guardians is I love a good soundtrack.
Yes.
I'm gonna push up my hipster glasses and I was like, I actually was on eBay yesterday buying soundtracks to my favorite feature films.
Michael Caine.
Yes, Michael Caine. But the brilliance of Guardian, not only is it just a solid soundtrack that emphasizes the film and the emotion that's going into the film, the one thing that I like is that when we finished Guardians 1, it was an emotional impact, like you said, with the letter. He opens it. He sees that it's a letter from his mom. He doesn't want to listen to that soundtrack because it's going to hurt him. He's scared. He's scared it's going to hurt him. It is almost like we didn't even need an end credits scene. Like I thought of this really in depth because I love this movie.
Go on, go.
But the soundtrack itself set the tone for the first film. The soundtrack itself for the second one is literally a tape that his mother made for him, and that soundtrack was already pre-planned by James Gunn, pretty much.
It wasn't an end credit scene.
No. I'm saying that it didn't need one because there wasn't an end credit. It was Howard the Duck, but we didn't need that either.
Yeah, the end credits in the first one were
awful.
Best
Marvel movie, worst
but
end credits.
But what I'm saying is,
saying it right now.
Like your note to the soundtrack was great. Yes. But the soundtrack to Volume 2, if you really think about it, it means so much because his mother thought of this soundtrack for him, saying this is the second stage.
Do they apply?
I think it applies.
A lot of movies, a lot of the songs from the second one apply to the storyline.
Because, like you said, the main song of the film really connects to his father.
Not only the main song, a lot of the songs also connect to the
moments. And it's like it's almost like his.
Maybe in the first one, I would have to listen to the soundtrack again and watch the movie again.
Well, we listen to the soundtrack, but here's the thing.
Hold on, I have a good point. Like,
yes,
what
after my point hasn't been made.
So, AJ, what's your point?
What I'm saying is that it's almost like real quick. I'm just saying that it's like his mother is with him, guiding him, and telling him the story of his father throughout the entire film, and like telling him really like what is family is that entire soundtrack. If you listen to that soundtrack, every single song is trying to explain, like his mother is trying to give him a lesson of what is truly family through the soundtrack. And it's an underlining theme that no one really notices. And
in the first one or the second one?
The second one. It's like every soundtrack that his mother gave him is like a lesson to be learned.
I think the second one had more.
So we are all foxes on the run. So
he's a bandit on the run. He's always running away from his troubles.
We're all Mr. Blue Skies.
Metaphorically.
We all live on Lakeshore Drive.
The second movie had more weight in the second movie.
I can't find
soundtrack
my
had more
flashlight.
weight in the story.
Yeah, he can't find the light at the end of the tunnel.
But I also
he's a lost
have
child.
Personal problems with the
man. We're all in this Guardians Inferno.
Guardians. You got it.
That's actually one of the titles think with. That's the one.
What is your opinion? I mean, that's my personal opinion and how I perceive the soundtrack in both films. What is your perception of that, though?
What I think is that what I feel James Gunn did was he really wanted to pick songs that were popular, but he wanted to make it to where it's like when you hear a song and it's like, oh, when you hear All Star, what do you think of?
Shrek.
Yeah.
I think of Mystery Men. Now when I hear,
Mystery Men. It's just the memes.
Now I hear Fox on the Run, Mr. Blue Sky. What do I automatically think of? Guardians of the Galaxy. But Brandy and a few of those other songs in the movie really made me think more of the movie. And that's what's crazy about the soundtrack is James Gunn.
Iconic.
It's iconic. He literally took the time to pick these songs, like we were saying, is like to make it add to the story. Like if you really listen to the words of Brandy, it's really about ego and his whole journey. If the song's about Lakeshore Drive, it's like he just wants a home. He wants a place to live. He wants a place to like settle down and make this like huge thing that he loves. And honestly, we haven't had a soundtrack or anything like that in years, or anything like remotely like that.
Baby Driver.
Okay, fingers crossed. But I've only seen the movie once up to this point, but I've listened to the soundtrack 15 times at least.
Yeah, and
maybe
I've been there
more.
for at least 5.
And
It's great.
It has been making me want to watch the movie even more.
I'd rather pop in Guardians 2 than Guardians 1.
Yes.
Yeah. In the end,
I agree. I've listened to Guardians 1 soundtrack quite a bit, but I think Guardians 2.
Does that mean I like the second one more than the first one?
that's up to you to decide.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Kurt, that is a.
I want to say I like the
that is
first one.
for
The
you
second one was very.
and our fans to figure out.
The fucking rocket part with like Yondu,
Okay.
and that like breaking
That's
on.
pretty
It's all right. So if I were really to put these two movies as a what's better, I would say like okay, so the Guardians 1 soundtrack is like let's say it's like Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay.
No, Captain America Civil War.
Ooh.
Okay. But the Guardians 2 soundtrack is kind of like Captain America Winter Soldier.
Thank
now, okay,
God we got that
the better
perspective for the audience
movie,
right off the bat.
But still, they're both equally the same.
Okay.
And here's my problem with the movies. It's kind of like when you take Braveheart, but you want to compare it to, like, Gladiator. Okay? It's like, like honestly, like, they're both, like, historical films. They're both on point.
Yeah.
With great movies, Oscar winners.
You don't need to explain
What's
to me.
more?
I got what you're saying now.
He knows what you're
The
throwing
feel
down.
of the movie. Yeah. AJ, what
Solid.
about you?
Honestly, I thought Guardians 1 was like my favorite film. I loved that movie more than all the Marvel films, even 20th Century Fox.
I would agree.
Even after seeing Deadpool, that was my favorite. I thought that was cool. They really pushed the limits. The soundtrack was cool. The comedy was on point. And I thought a lot of studios, like we talked about in the Suicide Squad review, a lot of movies are going to try to make that. And I really enjoyed the fact that going into this film, I thought I was going to think, oh, they're going to try to do Deadpool, blah, 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 blah. It was still original film. It was still original comedy. It was still James Gunn, who I'm a huge fan of, and knocked it out of the park. So I honestly, no less than a 9.5 on the film and a 10 out of 10 for that soundtrack. Ooh. It is perfect. It like just syncs up with the film so well. It's like they're made to be, which is kind of ironic or coincidental to the film as well.
Okay.
All right, Kurt.
So what I like to do a two-scale
for
system. The first scale is to
Kurt's classic two-scale system.
So, the first scale is from movie to film.
Yes.
Movie just be pure entertainment.
Correct.
Film being a lot of like substance, a lot of thing like that. I would give this movie a 3, right in the middle. It's a perfect balance between heartstrings
not a strong score,
and
folks.
humor.
Okay.
Good to bad. I would definitely give it a 5.
A 5?
1 to 5, I give it 5.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'll say cool.
So it's a 3. It's right in the middle between a movie and a film.
Like your scoring.
It's the perfect balance between movie and film, and it is out of a scale from 1 to 5 of greatness, good
Folks,
to bad being 0, great being 5. I'd give it a 5.
Folks, if you want to go see a good
4.5.
film, if you want to go see a good movie,
awesome.
this movie is good all around. We highly recommend this movie.
You were just in a bad mood before you went into the theater and watched the movie. That is just on you. It is a fun.
It's a fantastic movie.
Solid film. It's a solid film, regardless of us being biased and nerdy. It's just a solid film. Go see it with your family.
Actually,
go see it with your best friends.
Take it with a grain of salt. I'm extremely biased for the first Guardians movie because it's obviously our favorite one.
It's a great film.
I don't think I'm wrong.
If you love, if you love sci-fi and you love comedy,
absolutely,
this is your film. This is your film. You don't really need to even see the first one, which is great.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you for tuning in, guys. This was Shot for Shot with our review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I was Butter.
I was AJ.
And I'm Kurt.
And please stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have more reviews coming this summer because I know there's a lot more big movies coming out.
And remember,
please like, comment.
Yeah, and if you guys have seen our current review system like this in our old run where we did it on downstairs with like
Please
chairs,
comment. Tell us what you think.
Let us know what you want. Do you want this or do you want that? And we'll definitely do that for you guys. Thank you guys so much.
And remember, Mary Poppins.
We're Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Is she a badass?
She's a badass.